Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're anything like me, sometimes you're looking for that little extra boost, to get your brain going, especially first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we found this blog post. It's called "How to Make Brain Boosting Coffee at Home in 60 Seconds,"
Okay.
and it's from this company called Shift Fuel, and it was published pretty recently, actually, January 2nd, 2025. So this year,
Interesting.
yeah. So we thought we would take a deep dive into
Yeah.
brain boosting coffee and see what the science says because, 60 seconds sounds pretty good, but is it really all it's cracked up to be?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of products and supplements out there that make big
For
promises.
sure, for sure.
Hmm.
So let's break it down. So basically the recipe is you brew your coffee like you normally would. Of course, they recommend using their brand of coffee,
Hmm.
but, you know,
Right. Of course.
any coffee will do. And then you choose your what they call brain booster. So they have four options. MCT oil, cinnamon cacao powder, or collagen powder.
Yeah.
And then you just blend it all up for like 20 seconds and boom, you've got this like creamy latte situation that's supposed to like supercharge your brain.
Sounds delicious and efficient.
Right. Exactly. So let's talk about these brain boosters. Maybe you can give us a little rundown of each one, starting with MCT oil. What is that stuff anyway?
Sure. So MCT oil stands for medium chain triglycerides, and it's a type of fat that's found in coconut oil. It's been getting a lot of attention lately because it's digested differently than other fats. It goes straight to your liver and is converted into ketones, which your brain can use for energy.
So it's like instant brain fuel.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It bypasses the normal digestive process, so it provides a quick source of energy without the sugar spike that you might get from other sources. And there is some research to suggest that MCT oil can improve cognitive function in certain populations, like people with Alzheimer's disease.
Interesting. Okay. What about collagen? I always thought that was more for skin and hair, not the brain.
Yeah, collagen is often marketed as a beauty supplement, but it actually plays a vital role in brain health, too. It's the most abundant protein in our bodies, and it's found in our tendons, ligaments, skin, and yes, even our brains.
Ah, who knew?
So collagen basically helps to provide structure and support for our brain cells. And some studies have shown that collagen supplementation can improve memory and cognitive function. There's also some evidence that it might protect against age-related cognitive decline.
Okay, so maybe it's not just about wrinkles after all.
Exactly right.
Okay, what about cinnamon? I actually already put cinnamon in my coffee sometimes, but just because I like the taste.
Well, you might be getting an extra brain boost without even realizing it. Cinnamon is known for its anti-inflammatory properties, and some research suggests that it might help to protect brain cells from damage. There's also some evidence that cinnamon can improve blood flow to the brain, which is essential for optimal cognitive function.
Wow, so all these years I've been unknowingly boosting my brain with my cinnamon habit.
Maybe so.
Okay, last but not least, we have cacao powder. I'm a big fan of chocolate, so I'm definitely intrigued by this one.
Well, cacao is basically the raw form of chocolate. It's packed with antioxidants called flavonols, which have been shown to have a number of benefits for brain health. They can improve blood flow to the brain, protect brain cells from damage, and even enhance memory and cognitive function.
Okay, hold on. This is all starting to sound a little too good to be true.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I mean, are we really saying that just by adding a scoop of this or that to our coffee, we can become like super geniuses?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. It's important to remember that this blog post is coming from a company that sells coffee.
Right. Shift Fuel, they definitely have a vested interest in promoting these add-ins.
Exactly. And while these ingredients do have some potential benefits, the blog post doesn't actually fight any specific research studies to support their claims. They're basically saying, trust us that this stuff is good for you, but they're not giving us any real evidence to back that up.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's always important to be critical of marketing claims, especially when it comes to health and wellness.
Absolutely.
So it seems like there might be something to this whole brain-boosting coffee idea, but we need to dig a little deeper and look at the bigger picture.
Definitely. There's a lot more to brain health than just adding a few ingredients to your coffee.
Right. Like, what about all the other things that we know are good for our brains, like sleep, exercise, and diet?
Exactly. Those are all crucial components of brain health that we can't ignore.
Okay, so while we sip on our maybe brain-boosting coffee, let's shift gears and talk about the foundations of brain health that go way beyond a quick fix.
Sounds good to me. So when we talk about brain health, it's kind of like building a house, right? You need a strong foundation to support everything else.
Okay, so what are those foundational elements? Where do we even begin?
Well, sleep is absolutely crucial. I know it sounds basic,
Yeah.
but so many of us are sleep deprived these days. And when we don't get enough sleep, our brains just can't function at their best.
Oh, yeah. I am definitely guilty of that. I'm always telling myself I'm going to go to bed early tonight, and then I end up, scrolling on my phone or watching just one more episode.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
But seriously, even if you can just squeeze in like 30 minutes more of quality sleep each night,
Okay.
it can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
Because during sleep, that's when our brains are really busy,
Yeah.
consolidating memories, clearing out waste products, and basically prepping for the day ahead.
It's like a nightly reset for the brain.
Exactly. And just like our brains need rest, they also need regular physical activity.
Okay. So we've got sleep and exercise. Are we seeing a pattern here? These aren't exactly quick fixes.
Right. These are lifestyle changes, but they're really the key to long-term brain health because exercise increases blood flow to the brain, which delivers oxygen and nutrients, and it also stimulates the release of growth factors that help brain cells survive and thrive.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
When I'm exercising regularly, I definitely feel like sharper, more focused, more energized. What about diet? Does that really have that much of an impact on brain health?
Absolutely. What you eat fuels your brain, literally. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats provides the building blocks your brain needs to function optimally.
So those brain-boosting coffee ingredients we were talking about earlier, those are just a tiny part of the equation.
Yeah, think of it this way. Those ingredients might give your brain a little boost, but healthy diet is like providing your brain with a constant source of premium fuel.
Okay, I'm getting the picture.
Mm.
What else should we be thinking about when it comes to brain health?
Well, let's not forget about stress management. Chronic stress is incredibly harmful to the brain. It can actually shrink the hippocampus, which is the part of the brain responsible for learning and memory.
That's scary.
Right.
So how do we combat stress? Is it all about, meditation and yoga and stuff like that?
Those are great tools, but it's really about finding what works for you. It could be spending time in nature, listening to music, or connecting with loved ones. The key is to find healthy ways to manage stress so that it doesn't take over your life.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like there's a lot to juggle here. Sleep, exercise, diet, stress management. It's kind of overwhelming.
I hear you. But remember, small changes can make a big difference. Start with one or two areas and build from there.
That's good advice. Instead of trying to overhaul my entire life all at once, I can just focus on making small, sustainable changes like maybe going to bed 30 minutes earlier or swapping my afternoon bag of chips for a handful of almonds.
Exactly. It's about progress, not perfection. And remember, taking care of your brain isn't just about preventing cognitive decline, it's about feeling your best, thinking clearly, and living a more fulfilling life.
As you're talking, it's striking me how much we tend to separate our physical health from our mental and emotional well-being. But it's all connected, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. We can't expect to have a healthy brain if we're neglecting our physical and emotional needs.
So it's really about taking a whole person approach to brain health.
Precisely. And that includes nurturing our emotional well-being.
Okay, so we've got sleep, exercise, diet, stress management, and now emotional well-being. What does that look like in practice?
Well, it involves recognizing and managing our emotions effectively. It's about cultivating self-awareness, building resilience, and developing coping mechanisms for dealing with challenges.
I can see how that would be crucial for brain health. When I'm feeling really stressed or anxious, it's definitely harder to focus and make decisions.
Exactly. When we're constantly in a state of stress or emotional turmoil, it takes a toll on our brains. It can impair our memory, our attention, and even our ability to think clearly.
So emotional well-being is like another layer of that strong foundation we were talking about earlier.
You could say that it's all interconnected, and there's actually one more piece of the puzzle that's essential for both emotional and brain health.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
Social connection.
Social connection. I wouldn't have immediately thought of that as brain booster.
Yeah, it might seem surprising, but social connection is incredibly important for our brains. Human beings are wired for connection, and those relationships actually help to keep our brains healthy.
So it's not just about, feeling good. It's about actual cognitive function.
Exactly. Think about it. When you're interacting with others, you're engaging in conversation, sharing ideas, and maybe even debating different viewpoints.
Right.
All of that stimulates your brain and helps to keep those neural pathways firing.
That makes sense. I know I always feel more energized and creative after a good conversation with friends. It's like my brain has been recharged.
Exactly. And social connection isn't just about stimulating the brain, it also helps to reduce stress and boost our mood. Loneliness and social isolation, on the other hand, have been linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline and even dementia.
Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. So we've got sleep, exercise, diet, stress management, emotional well-being, and now social connection. It sounds like taking care of our brains is a pretty holistic endeavor.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's not just about adding a few things to your coffee, it's about living a life that supports brain health in every aspect.
So if we were to kind of sum up everything we've talked about today, what would be the key takeaways?
Well, I think the first takeaway is that there are no magic bullets when it comes to brain health. There's no quick fix or supplement that will instantly transform your cognitive abilities. It's about creating a lifestyle that nourishes and supports your brain over the long term.
Right. And that lifestyle includes prioritizing sleep, getting regular exercise, eating a healthy diet, managing stress, nurturing emotional well-being, and cultivating meaningful social connections. Did I miss anything?
I think you covered it all. It's a lot to consider, but remember, even small changes can make a big difference.
I love that you said that. It's so easy to get overwhelmed and feel like we have to do everything perfectly. But the truth is, any effort we make towards supporting our brain health is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And one last thing I would add is the importance of staying curious.
Curious. How does that tie into brain health?
Well, our brains thrive on novelty and challenge. When we learn new things, engage in stimulating activities, and step outside of our comfort zones, we're essentially giving our brains a workout.
So it's not just about Sudoku and crossword puzzles.
Mhm.
It's about trying new things and expanding our horizons in all areas of life.
Exactly. Take a different route to work. Pick up a new hobby, learn a new language, travel to a new place, strike up a conversation with someone you wouldn't normally talk to. The possibilities are endless. The key is to keep your brain engaged and challenged.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. We started with a quick coffee recipe and ended up exploring all these fascinating facets of brain health.
It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you.
And to all of our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into brain health. Remember, your brain is an incredible organ, and it's worth taking the time to nourish and care for it. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.